We will now be putting on the finishing touches of the two tables in our workbook. We're going to first format the numbers, and then we're going to add titles to each of the tables. I first want to demonstrate the difference between currency formatting and accounting formatting. So I'm just going to do this in B7. So if you just click on the $ here, this is the accounting number format. It will add a $ and also add 2 decimal places. You can always manipulate the number of decimal places by using the icons here to increase or decrease a decimal, or you can control it. So this would be accounting and then controlling your decimal places here. Now notice that in the accounting format, the $ is entered at the left part of the cell. If you come here and select currency, then you tell it how many decimal places and then the symbol of the $. And in this case, if you can control how negative numbers behave, either in red, black, or having parentheses or no parentheses. So I'm going to click OK just so you can see the difference. So now you see that in currency format, the $ is right next to the number rather than at the far left of the cell. And that's the format that we're going to use for our numbers. The easiest way to apply formatting to the range of cells is we're going to select the range B7 through N13. And then we're going to come up here and click on currency. Now you'll notice that the $ are added and there's 2 decimal places, which we're going to remove. But I did want to point out, when you see a cell that has number signs or hashtags in it, that means that the contents in the cell are too wide for the width of the column. So you would have, if you wanted to keep this, you would have to change the size of the column, which would then fix it. I'm going to just undo that for a minute because we're going to remove the decimal places to correct that problem. So I'm going to click on here. I could remove the decimal places here, but I would like to do one other thing to the formatting. So I'm going to change the decimal places to 0. And then what I want to do is that for the numbers that are negative, I want them to stand out with red. So I'm going to choose the parentheses. And then that will take care of the formatting for that section. We're now going to apply the same thing to the data in the Anne Arundel Community College section, and we'll go currency, and then we'll just remove the 2 decimal places, and that takes care of that. The final thing that we're going to do here is to select the four-year cost column without selecting average, and we're going to apply conditional formatting here. So there are many different ways to format with conditional formatting. We're going to use the color scales. This is similar to the red light, yellow light, green light. And since the low numbers are more beneficial than the higher numbers when we're looking at college costs, we're going to use red, yellow, green color scale so that the green will be on the lower numbers. So when we look at this, we see that the higher number is in red and then the lower numbers are in green, and then based on the range of the dollar amounts, you'll see a range in the intensity of the yellow. On the information sheet, we're going to start with B1, the budget per year. And let's just do that we're doing this a little differently. We're going to say currency. That automatically puts 2 decimals, and we don't want 2 decimals, so we're going to decrease the decimal by clicking on this icon twice to take away the decimals. There is no currency in the information table, so what we're going to do is we're going to format the distance from home and the number of undergrads. We would like it to have 0 decimals and comma formatting. So we can click here and we click on the number. We want to use a separator there. We want 0 decimal places. An alternate way that you could format this is by clicking on the comma icon. It adds the 2 decimal places, and you can just decrease the 2 decimals and you'll have the same number format. Next, we're going to format the cells that are in percent. So we're going to click on F11, hold down the Control key and click on I11 and J11. Holding down the Control key allows you to select non-contiguous cells, and you're able to apply the formatting to all of them at once. So we're going to click on the percent icon and then make sure that we click on center so that the text is centered. And the last thing we'll do is to click on G11 and then hold down the Control key and select K through M11. And then the easiest thing to do is just click on the number format and click on number and 0 decimal places. And that changes all of them. And then, of course, we center it. And then we'll save. The last thing we'll do is to place a title over the top of above each of the tables. So the way we're going to do it on the information sheet is to select A3 to N3 and click Merge and Center. So what that does is that merges all the cells together, and then you can center the title. And then we're going to select the drop down for cell styles and select title. And then we will type college information. If you prefer, you can make some changes to the font or the size of the font if you want to change it to better match your table style. You can choose whichever one you'd like. On the financial sheet, we're going to use WordArt to add our title. So select the Insert tab, go to the text group and select WordArt, and then you can choose any of these. You'll be able to change the formatting later if you want. So it inserts this object, and in order for the object to be centered, you need to make sure that you resize the object across the entire table. That's the only way you can really get it to center. And then when you click the outside of it, you can click the up arrow to get to make sure that everything is centered there. And then you're just going to type college costs. And so this is where you can be creative with your WordArt. If you go to make sure that you're in the Drawing Tools Format tab, this controls the formatting of WordArt. This controls the formatting of the background or the actual shape. So you can change the fill color, you can change gradients, you can use textures. So you can be creative if you want to change the background and the text effects. So here's your text fill colors. Just make sure that it does match your table formatting. Text effects, you can use bevel. You can see the differences between the different types of formatting that you can apply to the word art. Okay, so just choose whichever one you'd like.